Right, just a quick video. There's two subjects to talk about. Not sure which one I'm going to talk about first or second. No idea. They're sort of intertwined slightly. Okay, I'm going to explain something. From now on, this most gorgeous, beautiful lady, rather than just calling her that, I'm going to call her vehicle. Because a vehicle is what I'm going to be referring to as now. That would be her name on, well, for now on this channel. Yeah, but that way, saying that woman, no, that's a bit too cold, so it's not. Yeah, her name is important, so we do that. Yeah. Okay, let's focus on her situation, I suppose, or the situation with regards to myself and vehicle. Nothing's changed. I don't think she was there today at church. No, I don't think she was there. Anyway, when I first got into church, for some reason, I don't know why. Yeah, I was thinking quite defeatist about the whole situation between me and her, and just said to God, "Well, Lord, this has to be sort of dealt with today, really." So where that come from, I don't know. Look, weekends is tough because that's when unlikely to have anything sorted out this week. It has to be next week now. And then next week comes on. Oh, okay, another week. Okay, another week. Okay, another week. But yeah. So I was speaking to God quite a lot beforehand. Well, before the service, I went for a walk. I went for a good old walk. Yeah, spending a bit of time with God, speaking to God about different things. So, yeah, I was a bit surprised when I sat down and thought about that. I said to God, where did that come from? No idea. Well, we're talking to God. I later understood part of the problem is I'm, in a way, trying to build two relationships. The relationship with God and the relationship with vehicle. Although, not build it as in, make it work or anything like that, but understand how it's going to work and go to God about that as well, and any little detail that I can sort of understand. It just came to the point where it's like, well, okay, I can't really do that because I've got to focus on that one relationship, really. I've got to focus on the relationship with God. Because, look, the reality comes down to it that I gave this relationship with vehicle to God previously, and the reason why I gave it to God is because it was too much for me to try and carry. So it's right. I then took it back at some point. When, I do not know, but at some point, obviously, I took it back. Yeah. So I've got to give it to God because if I love her, right? If it is love for her, and if we are supposed to be together, then I've got to focus on my relationship with God. I've got to make sure that I'm going to be where she needs me to be as well as where I need to be. If God's working on her and bringing her to this position, would it be good for her if I'm way behind, where she has to drag me along? Or try and help me through it, help me to get to there? No. No, not at all. And if she's not at that point, then I would help her to get there, of course. But the thing of it is, I've got to focus on that, because if there are things in me that had to be dealt with before the relationship with me and her can really start, then the things in me have to be dealt with. That's the reality. If they're going to take time, because, oh God, I would not want any of that stuff there. Yeah, and for her to have to try and deal with that as well as me. No, 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 no. My crap has to be dealt with. That shouldn't become hers in any way, shape or form. God, no. No. That wouldn't be love in any way, shape or form. It just wouldn't. No, I've got to deal with that stuff. Whatever it is that's still in me, yeah, got to deal with that. That's it, really. Yeah. And that's going to take however long it's going to take. And what's going on with her, I do not know. I don't know. I've got no idea how she is right now, because I say she wasn't there this week. Couldn't speak to her last week, couldn't speak to her the week before. I hope she's doing okay. Yeah, I pray for her every night. Yeah. Yeah. Well, because even though we're not together, if she's in my heart, she's part of my family. Yeah. So I need to pray for her the same as I pray for the dogs and the other people I pray for. So yeah, I do that. Look, I'm not trying to say for a second that neither myself or her are going to be perfect when we enter the relationship, or perfect when the relationship ends, as in one of us or both of us go to heaven. But if there's baggage that needs to be dealt with from before I became a Christian, if any of that is still there, that needs to be dealt with. Yeah, if there's baggage that I've been carrying over the past 27 years that I shouldn't have been carrying, and it's still there, that needs to be dealt with. That should not be taken into a marriage. That's been something that's been really strong on me, because certainly when I got married before, all that stuff was taken into it. None of it was dealt with on me or her. She was a manic depressive. I was struggling with depression. None of it was dealt with. And the relationship was horrendous. Would I go back to that or anywhere near that? No. Would I want to put her through that? Oh, I nearly swore there. Before no. That's how much no I would say there. That's how much no I would say. Yeah. 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 Earlier on, I think it was today. I think it was today. I think it was this morning when I was in the shower, possibly. Speaking to God about the fact that, okay, we've got this church thing today, and they do this call for people to go forward to say things. So, okay, Lord, there's a lot of things that I could share. So I'm going to speak about this again in a minute. I'm not going to go into all those things. But one thing I could do is speak about, the fact you put this love in my heart for vehicle. Although, again, I wouldn't show her name in the church, whether she was there or not. I wouldn't do that. Well, unless she spoke to me beforehand and then people knew. But then what I think God shared with me, and I think it's God that shared it, is that the beauty of it is that from a worldly point of view, there's no way, shape or form she'd look at me. Yeah? I'm not in her league in any way, shape or form. But So therefore, I wouldn't stand a chance of getting someone like her, someone who looks like her. No chance. But when God put the love in me for her, all I'd seen of her was her character. I'd not seen her face, not seen really anything of her looks. Normally for women who are good looking, they only get attention of men who like them because of their looks. Most of the men don't notice their character. So she wouldn't get me. She wouldn't get someone who would love her for her character. That is true, though. Yeah. When God showed that to me, it just made sense. Yeah, okay. It does make sense, really. Yeah. Well, because look at the world we live in. Yeah. Yeah. So, yes. I've no idea what's going to go on. But this situation with her, I'm going to have to re-give to God. And hopefully this will be the last video I do about her for a while. If I've given it to God, then I will only be sharing stuff when there's something to share. There's nothing going on. Like for the past 3 weeks, there really has been nothing going on. Apart from what God has shared. Because I keep on going to God about it. So, apart from what God has given about that, which is quite a lot, there really has been nothing at all. There's been nothing from her side. Not in any way, shape or form. So until there is, hopefully I won't do another video. I'll be focused on my relationship with God and doing videos about that sort of stuff. Yeah. So we'll see. As I say, that would be evidence that I've given a situation to God and I'm trusting Him for it. So, yeah. That's the plan. So, there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. I'll do the other video in a second. Bye-bye.